Tesla is the leader in manufacturing electric cars and is known for being innovative and eco friendly. However, lately they are selling fewer vehicles. The reasons are many, including Elon Musk's political involvement, Dodge, increased competitions from the conventional vehicles, aging model lineup, Model 3 and Model Y, has taken a lot of time, economic challenges, and rising interest rates. But on the positive sides, Tesla is using new promotional strategies, lowering its prices, offering special deals, and providing financial help like 0% APR. This story is divided into sections that you can pick and choose where you want to go. So let's drill it down. So, who is usually buying Tesla cars? A lot of Tesla fans care about the environment and social issues, like fighting climate change or supporting fairness. They love Tesla because it's all about green energy. But Elon Musk, he's been saying things that don't match their values. For example, he supported some conservative ideas, criticized government rules, and even backed controversial people. Some fans feel upset, like Tesla isn't the company they thought it was. Plus, today, the world is super divided politically. If you pick a side, like Democrat or Republican, you might lose the other side. Tesla customers include people from both groups. But if Musk views makes Tesla seems right wing, some left leaning buyers might walk away. I've seen people on social media say they will switch to other brands like Rivian or Ford because of this. That's a big risk for Tesla. Elon Musk's politics are putting Tesla in a tough spot. Yeah, in a short term, some customers might boycott, meaning they will refuse to buy Tesla cars. But others who like Musk might stay loyal. Tesla cars are still the best in many ways. Yes, yes, yes. It's getting super competitive out there. Big traditional car companies like Volkswagen and General Motors are jumping in with full force. At the same time, newer names like BYD and Xpeng are also stepping up. These companies are busy creating all kinds of electric vehicles. Think sedan, SUV, compact cars, you name it, they have it. What does this mean to us for the consumer? More choices. Whether you want something stylish or practical, you name it, they have it. They have the EV which is right for you and it's there for you. So now the growing competition is actually shaking things up, especially for Tesla. Tesla has been the biggest leader in the electric vehicles for a long time, kind of like the pioneer everyone looks up to. But with all these other companies joining the game, Tesla market share is starting to slip. Now, question comes is why? Well, competitors are doing something called cool stuff. They are coming up with the new innovative features, very good designs, like fancy tech insights in the car, improving how far the vehicles can go on a single charge, and offering prices that more people can actually afford. This is making it tougher for Tesla to stay on the top. Competition is fantastic for consumers like you and me, but not for the number one EV manufacturer like Tesla. Yes, yes, yes. The economy right now is tough for many. Inflation is driving up the cost of living, leaving people with less money to spend. Talk about eggs? Yes. Rising interest rates are making it more expensive to borrow money for big purchases. Together, these pressures are hitting consumers hard, especially when it comes to costly items like electric vehicles. People are simply less willing to spend a lot of money when times feel uncertain. Yes, uncertain. And that's reducing the demand for these cars. The economic struggles are too strong. Discounts and promotions can lower the price, but they can't change the fact that many people don't feel confident spending on something as expensive as an electric vehicles right now. The challenges are just too big to overcome with quick fixes. Promotions, price cuts, yes, that's the most interesting topic as a consumer. Tesla has dropped the cost of its popular cars, like Model 3, around 20% across the world. It's a huge chunk. Now, more people can afford Tesla, not just the super rich, and it's been working to an extent. Next, Tesla is helping pay their cars at 0% APR, meaning no extra interest you have to pay when you buy the car from Tesla. This can save you thousands. They're also giving you discounted lease. So if you don't want to buy the car, you want to lease it, but still want to drive the car, you will pay a lower monthly payment. It's like Tesla is saying, don't worry about the cost, we got you covered. And here's the coolest part: free charging, free supercharging for a limited time. So Tesla is letting people charge their car free into any supercharger and do not have to pay for a dime. Imagine driving around, plugging in and powering up your car for free. It's a game changer because it makes you owning a car and it's cheaper to run and it's more fun. To attract more buyers, Tesla is also offering discounts in insurances. It's giving subsidies for Model 3 until March 17, 2025, could save around 1,100 in China. First, let's talk about how Tesla has been doing lately, especially at its Shanghai Gigafactory in China. In February 2025, it delivered around 30,688 cars. Numbers looks big, but actually it is not. It's a 49% drop from February 2024. This was the lowest number of cars made since July 2022. So what happened? Actually, Tesla stopped the production for a while to upgrade their assembly line for a new version of Model Y. These upgrades were really, really important. But actually, the timing was very tough because Tesla actually faces strong competition in China from electric car companies like BYD, NIO, and XPeng. These companies are making great cars. So Tesla has to work really hard to keep up. But here's the good news: this drop doesn't tell the whole story. Just 1 month earlier, in January 2025, they delivered 63,238 cars from the same Shanghai facility. That's more than the double of the February number. This shows that when everything is running smoothly, Tesla can do well. The decline in February was just a temporary challenge, not a sign that Tesla is actually falling. Now let's shift our focus on capacity rather than sales. As of October 2023, Tesla global production reached around 2.3 million cars in a year. If I talk about Gigafactory in Texas, in Austin, that factory can produce around 375,000 cars every year. That's like filling a very giant parking lot with all new Tesla cars. If I talk about Shanghai Gigafactory, that's insane. 750,000 cars every year. That's actually a lot of cars. It's the main hub for the whole Southeast Asia and Australia, where there is actually no Tesla other factory. And if I travel back to Europe and talk about the Berlin Gigafactory, it has produced its 400,000 car in 2024. It took it 2.5 years to do this. This is actually a fast growth. But Tesla isn't stopping there. They want to double the factory capacity from 500,000 cars to 1 million car in a year. And if they succeed, it will be bigger than Volkswagen plant. It's the largest Germany plant right now. Now let's talk about what analysts say about Tesla. In quarter 4 2024, the delivery number was 495,570. It was fewer than what analysts expected. That's like a store planning to sell 500 laminate cups, but it was only able to sell 450. So the headlines are buzzing about the sales decline. It's a big deal because fewer cars means less money. Analysts think this might keep happening. Demand is cooling off, and other car companies are stepping up in the game. So if you chunk out these numbers and come up with the number of the dollar difference, it's around 1.5 billion for quarter 4 2024. That was a difference. So looking ahead, they actually predict the next quarter could be even worse. The revenue dropping for 1.5 to 3 billion below the expected number is around 26 billion. So why? It's because few cars are leaving the lots. Could energy storage or price tweaks can help us? Maybe, but experts aren't super hopeful about this. Let's talk about the earnings per share. Yes. In quarter 4 2024, EPS was around 0.73, but analysts expected 0.76. So if you see the difference between is around 3 cents. Okay. It's like getting um, a 97 marks in a test where you needed 100. So if the sales keep actually slipping, EPS can drop further and expected around to be at 65 to 67 cents instead of 70. So investors watch EPS. It's because it's Tesla is a money making machine. Fewer sales, price cuts are actually squeezing the profit and making the profit size even smaller. Yes, and that's where the pain is. Yes. Tesla used to have a rocking margin of around 25%, but it has gone down to shrink to around 15%. Imagine a bakery making a less money based upon each cookie they sell. That's Tesla right now. The net income in actually for the total profit after all the bills are paid, last quarter it was around 2.3 billion. But it is expected it could drop to 20 to 40%, come down to the number around 1.5 to 2 billion. That's the big profit hit. It shows how tough things are in the Tesla world. This is the important topic. Yes, it's all about cloud and cloud 9. Yes, because I'm talking about Optimus and Cybercab, but it is very important because it is the only one which shows that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Let's look forward because Tesla has got some exciting things brewing that might just pull off when on the right time every rough patch is gone away. Optimus and Cybercab. They are two very bold projects. If Optimus takes off, it could slash the labor cost and supercharge the efficiency. Imagine about the Tesla factories humming around with fewer expenses. We were talking about the profit margin getting squeezed. Now, assume it's been run by Optimus. I know Optimus is still it works. It's a it's a working prototype, and it will take time to be the part of the real world worker. But if this goes through, it would be a game changer. I know it's a bit like waiting for your favorite toy in a sci fi gadget store, promising it would be there, but it's not there yet. If I change my topic to Cybercab, it's about the Tesla's robotaxi of the future. Think of sleek self driving car pulling up, opening your door, no driver, no fuss. Unveiled recently, I know that. Cybercab is built for autonomous ride hailing. If it hits the streets, Tesla will have a massive revenue stream, which which will actually change the dynamics of Tesla's profit and loss. It's an entire new revenue stream. We will not be talking about just the numbers of Tesla car sales. But the catch here is it still needs polishing. And no longer polishing, it's also about the regulators who have to sign it off. It's like a shiny new toy that is still in the testing phase. Huge potential, but hurdles remain. Question comes is why does this matter? It does matter because I know this is tough time. Sales are dipping, profit are squeezing, but Optimus and Cybercab shows there is a time, and it's the time will come and it will pay off. and the revenue will boost, profit will come in large chunks. I know it's like planting a seed during a drought. The growth might take time, but when the harvest comes, it could be massive. Now let's end this story what experts say. Watch this out thoroughly. Who's been Tesla bull for long years, and he has been correct. I would say most. I would say to the entirety.
To some extent, I think this sell-off is going to be an opportunity. I think years from now, it's a generational opportunity because it's my view. I get, in terms of all the frustration, noise, the Doge, the distractions, the brand issues, even some of the sales numbers that we've seen in Europe, China. I think it's going to be short-lived. I mean, my view is they have probably from a technology perspective in terms of autonomous, in terms of the lower-cost vehicle, and where I see things over the next 12 to 18 months, I think they're actually going to go in to their biggest part of their technology cycle that they've had, maybe forever, maybe in the last decade.
Does that require Elon to distance himself from the brand or recommit himself to the brand?
Look, I think this is one where I continue to believe the bet for the ages was Musk's bet on Trump. Because of autonomous, deregulatory, and I believe autonomous is worth ultimately $1 trillion alone to the ultimate story. From a brand perspective, look, we think about 10 to 15%, maybe the sales decline is related to some of the brand issues. But based on all of our survey work, we think only about less than 5% of Tesla holders today, so Tesla owners, will ultimately think twice, potentially, from a brand perspective because of Musk. So that's still pretty limited relative to where I view actually the whole growth opportunity.
What about the whole distraction? I mean, he's always had a lot of jobs and a lot of CEO roles, and so this has always been a constant question. But now that he's spending so much time in Washington with the president, working on Doge, does that make you wonder about his running it?
Yeah, look, we went through similar things when it came to Twitter X. I mean, we've gone through other situations as we've talked about. I believe this is something where 3-6 months from now, I think you'll see him a lot more dialed into Tesla in terms of as we go into FSD, as we go into autonomous. I also think, perception's reality, and I get that, but from all the work that we've done talking to people at Tesla, I actually think he is driving a lot of the bigger initiatives at Tesla, despite the view that he's basically 110% into Doge, and that's where all of his time is.
Where do you come up with this 5% number? I only ask that in terms of people who might change, because, typically, I think it's fair to say his customer has been sort of center-left, let's say.
Sure.
They've been environmentally focused. Republicans, perhaps not as much so, at least in certain parts, and so less likely to buy one. I don't know. The Journal today, the story, they cite a lot of people. It's anecdotal, saying, I'm going to give it up at the end of the lease. Where do you come up with 5%?
Yeah, I mean, for us, 1,000 Tesla owners, I mean, it's less than 5%.
So you did a survey of 1,000
Tesla. So to me, of 1,000 customers, less. And I could also tell you, this is something, as I've talked to others at dealerships, whether it's in Europe, what we've seen even in China, and what I believe we're going to see in the U.S., I get the brand words. It is a dark time right now for Tesla bulls. But to me, it is not the time to head for the hills. This is actually the time to double down. The reason we add to the top picks was I think we look out 6, 12 months now. I think this is ultimately, the stock is a double.
Right.
Over the
but
next
not
12.
on cars, though, right? Is it on Optimus? What's it on?
I think 90% of the value is going to be autonomous and Optimus driven. I think autonomous itself is worth more value than all of Tesla today. And I just think as we've gone through many periods, despite the frustration over the years, that has always been the opportunity. And I just think right now we are going into what could be actually the biggest golden path for Musk and Tesla, despite right now what feels like very like a white knuckle moment, just bad news after bad news.